Hey, all of you out there in Eorzea, welcome to She Heals, I Tank, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. Today is Friday, July 10th, and this is episode 225 of the Shit Podcast. I'm your host, Vegan Pete. Always by my side is the first class.
The first class. You are really scraping the barrel.
You are a first-class soldier in my book, Avi. If you played Final Fantasy VII, you know what I mean.
If I was in the Navy, I would also know what you mean.
Do they have first class? I thought they just had seamen.
Yes.
Nailed it.
They have first class, second class, third class, and chiefs.
Chief seaman?
No, just the seamen or just the first few ones. Sorry, Pete. Avi Ale here. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. My first class matey. Thank you for being here.
Wait, matey?
Matey.
It is actually mate, which would have worked better because I am your mate. But you literally okay. Just okay. This is a cricket episode. I don't know why you're not playing your own sound effects through all of that. That's not a cricket.
Correct. I'm doing good, Avi. Hope you're doing well as well.
I mean, it's not like you don't know. We haven't not spent every moment with each other for the past few months.
I've talked to you in 2 weeks.
I never see him anymore, you guys. We're always just gone. No one's ever just sitting at the house.
Hope everyone is having a great night. Hope you're staying safe, wearing your mask when you go out. I want to get myself a Final Fantasy mask, Avi. Can you help me out with that?
We can make you one.
I want all the job stones. I want my lips made of job stones.
No, I'm not doing that. I would have done like the Final Fantasy logo, but I'm not about to go that crazy.
Which Final Fantasy?
14.
Okay.
Why? This is Final Fantasy 14 podcast. Why would I have been referring to any other one? But yeah, like if you buy a mask, I can use some fabric paint and we can
puffy paint.
I have puff paint.
Yeah,
we can puff paint that shit on there. I'm a craft junkie. Like I used puff paint back in the day for something, and I still have it because that's what I do.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. We've got a good show, I think, for you today.
We've got a show for you today.
We're gonna be
isn't that good enough?
Recapping what we got way back in April from the live letter part 1 of the patch 5.3 preview.
I think this episode should be called "Scraping the Barrel."
I don't even remember. Getting that, like I looked at the post today and it was like part 2 of the patch 5.3 preview. I'm like, excuse me, where was part 1?
It was so long ago that we forgot about it.
I had to Google Drive search our past outlines, like looking for the last live letter. I was like, holy shit, back in April.
Yep, it's been a minute.
But thank you all for joining us here live at twitch.tv/SheHealsITank. Really appreciate it. Or if you're watching on YouTube or you've downloaded the podcast, thank you so much. We'd be so honored if you told a friend about us, if you enjoy the show.
That's my line.
We got some people who subbed last week. We got Soul Reaper 95, Shoya, which I'm pretty sure I said that name before, but it still says a first time sub. Twitch is kind of fucky sometimes.
Math is hard.
Damakase 86, also a first time sub. Nessa Laka, 4 months.
Wait, why did you add another Nessa?
Sometimes you add letters to names. What do you want? Kaizenkin, 6 months. And Agitated Salamander, 11 months. And some of those were from gift subs. So thank you all so much for subbing and the gift subs as well. And it was before we started the podcast, but damn, Bat Kid donated 15 gift subs
for his birthday
at the top of the show, and it was Bat Kid's birthday yesterday.
I apologize for assuming gender. Actually, Bat Kid, for your birthday.
Say happy birthday to the kid, the Bat Kid, the one and only. Thank you so much.
The awesomeness.
Like I said, I think we have a good show. Avi thinks we're scraping, but I think it's good.
It's not that the show is scraping. It's that like we're scraping for content. There's not a lot of content.
We're making it our own content.
We're looking for we're just our head is in the barrel and we're trying to like using our nails
DIY.
to scrape off the bottom of it. We don't have a spoon to scrape. We're like using our fingernails and trying to find what we can find to talk about.
I think we found some good stuff, though. And maybe we should kick it off with everyone's favorite segment.
Greenleaf Minute.
It's the Greenleaf Minute. And this one was suggested by Rathok in our Discord.
I don't know if it was actually suggested. I think it was just asked.
Yeah, just asked.
Yeah.
Rathok asked, if you relocate homes, do your gardens get emptied out? I'm working on the assumption of yes, but I saw some posts that they go into storage stasis until you put them back out. So, Avi, you answered this in Discord saying, yep, everything goes into storage.
But that's because I like literally did the thing where you skim it and I didn't actually notice the part about the gardens.
Yes.
So I was just like, everything goes in storage. You don't lose it.
I wanted you to elaborate on that because I wasn't sure. Do you mean that anything you have growing in the garden will be lost, or you don't know?
I didn't even acknowledge that as part of the question when I answered that. I thought it was just, well, because people were before, there'd be people who've asked like their storage is full, their house is full, but they're going to relocate, and so they're afraid they're going to lose their items because it's more space than they have in their storage. And that was how I was interpreting the question, was like, will I lose my stuff, or was it going to just stay out and then like set up at my new house the way everything is set up now? Yeah. And my answer was that no, when you relocate, everything goes into storage. Even if it takes up more storage space than you have, you're not able to add anything else to storage because you're past capacity, but you don't lose anything. And that was how I read the question, and probably just because I was doing too many things at once, which is kind of my tendency. And
well, your description of that, I think you might have something wrong with as well. But let's get to it in order. I googled this question because I wasn't sure if your answer had answered his completely, and I could not find a concrete answer. And this isn't
in regard to the gardening.
In regards to the gardening, and this isn't something I can just try out because I'm not about to relocate from my large house to any sort of house.
I don't blame you. And honestly, I have a small house, and I'm not about to relocate anywhere just because I don't want to have to redecorate. I've relocated a couple times actually, but I was always under the assumption that I would lose everything. Mm-hmm. So I always just finished up my plants and just wouldn't plant anything else because I knew I was going to be relocating soon. I mean, it's like when you're moving in real life. You water your plants the week before to make sure they're all good and happy, and when you move, you don't water them because they'll be heavier. Yeah. And then you do that when you get to the new house, right? This is totally on the same like path here.
So while I couldn't test this like 100%, what I did do to try to do a little semi-test was I tried planting something and then moving the garden into my storeroom. So I did that, and when I took out the garden and put it back in my yard, the plant was still there.
Very cool. Did you see that Fen just dropped a code? I was trying to point. This is me pointing.
Hey, Fen is going to have to head off, but did drop a code.
We don't know what it's for, but thank you so much, Fen. You are such a sweetheart.
Try to claim it and see if you got something good. So yes.
And let us know what it is, because now I'm curious.
Based on that little test I did, I would say probably whatever you have in your garden will just go into storage while it's still growing, and when you put it back, it will still be there. But I can't say for 100%.
Yeah, we just kind of did a mini test. So if you do have a garden that you want to, honestly, like this is kind of a little trick. If you want to, like, you have some seeds and some soils you want to like get rid of, buy multiple garden plots. You can plant them and then put the like however many seeds, what is it, 8 seeds, and then put it in storage and then put another plot out, and then you're literally like, I don't know, trying to you can have as many of those in stasis as you want, really. Right? That might be
seems like much too work too.
Much too work?
Much too much.
I know, but it was more of like a out loud thinking moment that you could have multiple plots that are in stasis if you really wanted to.
But if it's in stasis, it doesn't keep going, the timer.
Well, but if you did it though when you where they were ready to harvest, but you didn't have the inventory space for it or whatever, and you just wanted to hold on to them, like it's a way it would
seems like a dumb reason. Make some inventory space.
It would take one spot in your storage versus, if it's an unstackable item or something. I don't know. I'm literally just out loud thinking. Just go with me here.
No reason to do that. Make your storage space.
I'm sure someone would find a reason.
We can find a reason to do it, but it's not a realistic reason.
Well, sorry.
So yeah, I don't think that the timer would keep on going, but I don't know for sure. So I would definitely make sure you water all of your plants before you relocate. Even though it's a really quick system, like you should be able to take it out of storage right away and put it back in. But maybe you relocate and then you fuck off and go to work or something like that. Even though a lot of people don't have to go to work right now anyway.
A lot of people do.
It's probably good to water them before you put it away, before you relocate.
I don't know that it would make any difference. I feel like that would be interesting if somebody wants to try that.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think that the timer continues for him, but I'm not 100% sure.
If you are planning to relocate anytime soon, if you could test like a cheap plant and get back to us, like it was something again Pete couldn't find online, so it makes sense.
Yes, but there's nothing that could go wrong if you water them before you move. So
No.
just water.
Great. That wasn't my point. My point was like I want to know what happens. So
yes, I thought it was also a good time to bring this up because I think just about everyone is in agreement that the restoration of Ishgard is going to lead to Ishgardian housing.
Yeah.
So there are probably going to be quite a few people looking to relocate. And based on the last time that we had this option to relocate, a lot of people were not aware of a very basic requirement to be able to relocate. And that's what you were talking about earlier with furnishings that you have and furnishings going into your storeroom. You were saying you couldn't go above the cap. You just wouldn't be able to have it anymore or something like that.
No, I said it would go over the cap.
What would go over the cap?
Your inventory would all go into storage, even if it maxed out. It was past the amount of inventory storage slots you had, but you wouldn't be able to add anything else to your storage once you got your new house.
That is incorrect.
Really?
You cannot go over the relocation maximum. So for outdoor...
Oh, well, the relocation maximum is different than your storage space. I'm telling you, you can go with a house full of stuff and a storage full of stuff.
No, because I think your storage stuff is the maximum.
I don't think so.
Yes.
Storage is not very high. And I've moved before.
Okay, so maybe I'm thinking differently because I have a large and you have a smaller one. For me, it's 440, which is the maximum that I can put in the large house for indoor and the maximum I can put in my house for the outdoor.
Right, but that's saying like, so like me, my storage is like full and my house is very full. You move, you don't lose it.
Yeah, but in your house, it's probably 100 items you can place on the inside, 200. Yeah. And then, but your storage would still be maxed out at 400 total.
No, my storage is only like 200, I thought. It's not very high.
I think it's 400. I think the storage is all the same.
I think this is something we should have done more research on them when we tried to talk about it, Pete.
Well, I did my research. You didn't do any research. But
you didn't do this research.
Regardless, take a look at... Okay, so I'm going to tell you how to get there. You're going to be able to check this. You can check this right now, Avi, as we're doing it.
I am.
No, you could check it in-game because you're logged in. You can check this by going to Social, and then Housing, Estate Settings. Pick the estate you want to relocate, whether it's private estate, free company estate. Then check Storeroom Status. And there will be a section called Relocation Status that will either have a green check mark or a red circle with a line through it, like the Ghostbuster symbol, but without the ghost. And Avi's trying to Google instead of just doing what I told her to do in game right now.
I'm not curious about what I have. I'm curious about what the maximum is.
And I'm telling you, if you did that in game, you would know.
What do you want me to type?
Social.
Backslash?
No, not type. Just go to the menu. Social. Housing. Estate settings. Private estate. Storeroom status.
Indoor furnishings 200, outdoor furnishings 20 I can place. So it's only 200.
So you wouldn't be able to go above that maximum.
So I wouldn't be able. But this is. Oh, so the 200 is including indoor and placed?
Yes. So if you have 150 in your storeroom.
So here's actually the note that we need to read. This is more important. You will not be able to complete relocation if the total numbers of your items placed both in your estate and your storeroom exceeds 400 indoor furnishings and 40 outdoor furnishings. Chocobo stables and aetherites not included in the limit. So that's the number here is the 400. Yeah. But when you go to your house, what I'm trying to say is, like, my storage is already maxed out. They don't, like, it's not, I guess I'm not able to explain this in a way for you to understand what I was trying to say.
You just call me dumb.
No, you and I tend to communicate very differently, and this is when we get into arguments, is because we're each trying to say something, the other's not understanding what the other's trying to say. So, like, your storage and your placed items, I think that's where I'm referring to. But I don't have time to do this while we're trying to record a podcast.
Basically, if you have 200 items on your house, and let's say you have a large house, because if you have a small, you're maxed out at 200 and 200. So it would be very hard. You couldn't go above the maximum. So maybe that's why you said you can't go above the maximum.
Yes, that's what I was talking about.
But if you have a medium or a large house, you can go above the maximum, and it will prevent you from being able to relocate. Because if I have 300 items in my house and 200 items in storage, I would be above the 400 items.
That's it. Okay, so that's well. So my mind. So you understand, Pete. I was saying you can have 200 items in your storage, and I guess I wasn't combining the two numbers. You can have 200 items in your storage, and you can have 200 items in your house. In my mind, your storage is maxed at 200 items.
I said I understood what you were saying.
Okay, I was reading to try to understand it, because you got me all annoyed.
With a small house, you could never go above the cap.
Right.
But with a medium or large, you can go above the cap, and you wouldn't be allowed to relocate. So you need to check if you have that status to be able to relocate before you go and try it.
I suppose I've never ever had to think about that. I guess because I've only ever had small houses.
Yeah, so if you have a medium or a large, you definitely want to make sure that you don't have too many items combined in your storage and that are placed already. So you won't, because you're going to get to that placard and then it's going to not let you relocate.
So when you open that housing menu, it says 400 to you as well?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, currently, because it stays at 40 for the outdoor furnishings. So I have like 30 in my storage and 27 or 37 placed. I wouldn't be able to relocate right now.
Interesting. I want to look at this afterwards because I feel like that's not right.
Yeah, I actually wrote it down. I have 32 items placed and 17 in the storeroom. So combined, that's over 40. Mm-hmm. And I have the red circle with the cross through it that says I cannot relocate.
So it does tell you. Yeah. That's what I wanted to know. Yeah, like it actually lets you know that you can't.
It either gives you a green check. You had 2 green checks when you went to that screen. I had 1 green check and 1 red crossed out thing.
Got it. I've never verified that when I was going to relocate, I guess. So I could have lost stuff and not even known it.
But really, we need more than 40 outdoor furnishings because I'm shit at decorating and I went through that cap.
Well, I tried to tell you when you were decorating that you needed to spread your stuff out, and you were like, "No, I have a plan." And
I had quadrants all planned out.
Okay, babe. The reason that's never going to happen is because all of the yards are in a shared zone.
Sounds like we need instanced housing.
Yeah. KK's asking, did anyone use that code that Fen dropped? Find out what that code was.
I don't know. Would have been a good idea if you're gonna drop codes. It should be a good idea to say what it is for, because if someone claims it,
though, they might already have it.
They might already have it.
Yeah, so we need to know what it is. So I'll try sending Fen a message.
But while you do that, Avi, it's time for it's time for your.
Why do you make everything like a favorite segment?
It's the tweet of the week. Because I know how much you love it. I don't want to get it wrong.
Sorry for the clicking on the podcast.
Well, everyone else loves the Greenleaf Minute. You love. It's the tweet of the week. The tweet of the week. And
I think people just love how much I don't like hearing you say that.
I don't know what the difference is.
Okay.
This one comes from a J-Wag.
Oh, shit, you guys. Fen just told me that's a peacock mount right there.
Ooh, it's a peacock
mount. That is
mount.
a peacock mount, which is the prettiest mount in game. Oh my god, Fen, you are insane. In a wonderful way.
So from JWAG12787, they tweeted, I haven't had the opportunity to listen to the shitcast in a while. I need to try to play catch up, but I'll definitely try to be there tonight. Well, I hope you tried. JWAG, and I hope you're here with us tonight. Thank you so much for the kind tweet. Appreciate it.
Very, very nice.
Now, Avi, time for news and notes from around the realm. Last week, we found out that...
Oh, I thought you were going to actually let me read something.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, my love.
This is repeat podcast where Avi just comments on shit and gets annoyed.
I would listen to that podcast.
I'm sure it's your life. Last week we found out that the next live letter will be on July 22nd. But this week, you guys, wait for it. We found out what time it's going to be. Okay?
Oh my God.
What? So much news. So for those of you like us on the West Coast, you're going to have to wake up a bit early, starting at 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's a little more reasonable time for the East Coasters out there at 7 a.m. And again, Pete kind of mentioned earlier that apparently this is part 2 of patch 5.3 preview, and it's been so long that we don't remember what happened in part 1. And you know what's most likely that we're not the only ones, which tends to be the case most of the time with stuff like this, which is how like the Greenleaf Minute got started. Like if I don't know a thing, someone else probably doesn't know a thing. So we're going to go over it with you so you can remember what happened in patch 5.3 part 1.
And we'll go over it quickly because once I like started refreshing on myself on everything, I'm like, oh yeah, I knew that. I just didn't like associate it with the last live letter because it was so long ago. That's just because like the same thing is like I can't remember what happened 3 months ago in the MSQ because I'm like it didn't leave that much of an impact. Got pushed out of my head. Do a lot of crosswords.
That's the reason.
I gotta fill this little brain with trivia, baby. The patch is being called Reflections in Crystal. The artwork they showed with this title name is the Crystal Exarch, and he has a crystal hovering between his hands, and I think that's kind of reminiscent a little bit to the last patch. Actually, one of the last cutscenes of the patch was he was trying to like imbue it, and then he couldn't do it, and he's like, I'm going to need to use my blood.
By the way, I do think that like right before patch 5.3 hits, I feel like we're gonna need to do like a story recap.
We can do that.
I think because I feel like I need a story recap. Like I feel like it's been so long since I've done any story that I'm like, where did we leave off? So we need like a little recap, like the story, like the TV shows do.
Like one of my recaps
seasons
that I like doing, and you say you don't like doing.
Well, you go too far into detail. Recap's supposed to happen in like 2-3 minutes, and you're like, let's talk about this for an hour and a half. I'm like, that's a whole episode.
Would you rather have 2.5 minutes or an hour and a half
of recap?
Of love. Speaking of story, they said that the MSQ should be wrapping up the Shadowbringer story. Do you believe them, Avi?
Yeah.
So are we going to have no reason to go back to the first?
I don't know that, like, wrapping up the Shadowbringers means we'll have story, means we'll have no reason to go back to the first, but I feel like with every expansion they've done, do we actually, until the Ishtoration restoration happened, did we have any reason to go back to Ishtoration? No. So that's like that's what happens.
Beast tribes.
No, but I'm saying, like, so why are you acting like that's something new? Like, that's the thing that happens.
Yeah, and I think that's unfortunate.
That's what they do.
In general. I don't think we always need, like, a new area. If you can just make new good story for old areas. I've said that many times.
Oh, yes.
I think we need to keep on refreshing old story. I want to know what Nanamo's up to. I want to know what Merweb's up to.
You just care about Fordola.
Want to know what that hippie chick in the Gridania's up to.
Who?
You know, the main one.
Oh my god, did you just call Connie Senna the hippie chick?
Yes.
Okay. We also
and yes,
remember
Fordola,
we are getting the new dungeon. It's going to be called the Hero's Gauntlet. And like all the other dungeons, you guys, we will be able to run it with the Trust. And the pictures that we saw previously had it very similar to Lakeland, with the purpley trees, but with like little murder bushes from Ilmeg. So it's kind of like on the borders. There is what it appears to be.
Murder bush is a good description. I like that one.
Of your beard.
Okay. Yes.
I don't know.
I turned an asshole into my beard.
It's a murder bush.
I am just like one of the fairies.
Pixies.
What do you pixies?
They're pixies. What is with you tonight?
Whatever. Do you think this Hero's Gauntlet is like the gauntlet from Avengers, or like a gauntlet like Bardam's medal was kind of a gauntlet?
Wait, like what was the first one?
Like Avengers, the glove.
Oh no,
gauntlet?
it's not a physical glove. It's like a gauntlet. Like you're running the gauntlet. I was actually.
Are you sure? Maybe that's what we're gonna get in patch 5, part 2, preview part 2 of patch 5.3.
We're gonna run through the dungeon called the Hero's Glove.
Maybe you get fisted at the end.
Who are you? What? I don't understand.
Neither do I, really.
I'm sorry for my husband, everyone.
It's always good when you have to apologize.
We're getting Beast Tribe. We're finally going to be getting the dwarves, you guys. Crafting only. Do you like to craft, Pete?
I like to craft. I don't necessarily like that it's crafting only for the Beast Tribe, though. I wished it was like the Namazu, where it was gathering and crafting, and I wish they would have done that instead of, I'm blanking on their names now, but the very last one we got was gathering only. I wish they would have combined the gathering and crafting.
I didn't even do it, but I can picture their race in my head with their long ears.
Yes.
And then the
Ratkin.
Yeah. Or not the long ears. Those are the pointy ears. What's the thing? I was doing the other quest.
The renamed whatchamacallums from A Realm Reborn.
Yeah.
Exactly. Whatchamacallums.
You guys, the Qatari. Yeah.
There we go.
We are doing awesome. This is bad, Pete. We're doing bad. This is very bad. Very, very bad.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, because I wish we had 2 battle ones and then one that was a combined crafting and gathering. But I don't think we need a separate crafting.
This expansion has been like, hey, you guys, really awesome story, and that's all the battle class gets. The rest of you are just gonna craft and gather until your little fucking brains explode and you just hate yourselves.
Yeah, and I get that they were giving us that.
You get to fish. You get to build shit. You get to craft for shit. Oh, you get gear for this shit. All the beast tribes are gonna be for all this shit. And why do you think Avi doesn't give a shit about anything? Shit is the word of the show today, except for the story, because nothing else is for me right now.
All right, chat. Let us know if you have gone deep sea fishing in the last month. Give us a yes or a no.
Isn't it just called ocean fishing?
I think it was called deep sea fishing.
Oh God, I love how bad we are. This is amazing. No, everyone's like, no, it's really easy to level, at least in the game. No one's fished at all. Like, ocean fished. Thank you, Sayo. Ha ha ha. Avi was right.
Well, I got deep on my mind because I've been missing Deep Dungeon.
It's like there's just, I don't know. They did a lot of new stuff, and they focused a lot on crafters and gatherers, and I just don't understand why. And I feel like that is why this lull feels worse than others in the past. It's not just that like it's extended by another month. It's like extended by another month, and all of the attention was given to crafters and gatherers. And I tried. I kept trying. I still don't. It's just not a thing I want to do.
You legitimately started to understand crafting?
Yep.
And then you quit.
Yep.
You quitter.
And it wasn't even like I didn't actively quit. I just had no desire to log in and do it. I just didn't do it.
Yeah. I have to say, Restoration of Ishtoration really didn't give you any sort of sense of accomplishment from it.
Mm-mm.
You were just...
I got a ticket. I got another ticket.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a ticket. Okay, well now all the things you can get from the tickets, I can buy really cheap on the market board. So...
And Marcus Kyler in chat did the same thing I did. I got my minion and shark and peaced out from ocean fishing.
I did not want that mount.
Yeah, she got the minion, I think, right?
I don't think I even got the minion. Because I had to level my fishing because I had never actually played the class, and in order to do any of the stuff on the ocean fishing, you have to actually do the class quests. So I did put the effort to try to go in and do the class quests, and then again I was like, I don't like sharks. Why am I putting this effort in? I don't like them at all.
Didn't want the shark mount.
No, the thing's terrifying. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah, so in addition to this beast tribe being crafting only, which I don't really like, probably going to be the last one. We only got 3 in Heaven's Warm and Stormblood, so I don't imagine that we would be getting any bonus beast tribe in Shadowbringers. And if there was like a list that they had to cut down because of the pandemic, I would imagine Beast Tribe would probably be on that list.
You think?
So even if we were going to get a 4th one.
Oh, like, an additional one. I thought you meant like they were going to cut the dwarves, and I was like,
no,
I don't see that happening.
They're going to cut anything, but if they were planning on being like, hey, we're going to switch it up, we're going to
No,
give
you know
them
what I think
else.
They would cut? Vieira getting more hairstyles. That's what I think would get cut.
That's already been 86, baby.
Like, you ain't, nope. Sorry, honey. You're just going to sit with your helmet head and just be happy.
How mad would you be if they came out with all the Restgard ones first?
I mean, I'd be happy because that meant that it was going to eventually happen. Like, but yeah. But it'd be weird because like not very many people play the Restgard.
Bango says, I would be mad.
In all caps. This is like an all caps thing. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, like Aralon just said, those 3 people would be thrilled. Like, why would you give attention to the race that no one really plays? But yeah, the bunnies need some attention. Like, not only can do they have a very limited hairstyle selection, they also have very limited hat selection. And I feel like the dev team has like focused so much on glamour being part of the game with all of these new glamour pieces that are like implemented, and then they're just not taking that into account. And I just don't understand how that goes hand in hand. I feel like, if you understand how important glamour is to the players, I feel like that's part of that. It's a big part of that. But yeah.
Marcus Skyler says, just think if 5.3 had come out on time, we would be almost a month into it and bored again already.
That's because they're giving so much fucking attention to crafters and gatherers.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that.
You know what? That actually makes me want to. I want to look at like the content that was released and like the amount of time that you have to dedicate to each or whatever to finish, and see what the percentage of was actually dedicated to crafters and gatherers.
Because I know some people feel like it's annoying that you can put in time to gearing up your job or whatever, and then the next patch it's out. You have to do it again.
That's an MMO though.
I kind of like that. It is part of the MMO experience. That's a staple to me.
And you only have to do that if you're doing end game content.
So like, you're definitely doing it for more than a month.
Well,
and I like that when we get the new Alliance raid, we're going to be able to buy the upgrade piece that drops from Savage. So we're going to be able to upgrade.
You don't like that?
No, I like it. So you're going to be able to upgrade some of your tome gear. You're going to be able to get some secondary jobs geared up a little bit better. I like stuff like that.
I don't know. The burnout is real for me, you guys. Like we can talk about it later. We logged in and played last Friday, and we did completely irrelevant content, but with friends, and had a lot of fun. But it was like not because we were playing Final Fantasy 14. It was because we were hanging out with friends, and it just happened to be via Final Fantasy 14. And I really wish that we'd have gotten let me say that, like, even something like Eureka would have been nice right now. But our Eureka right now is the restoration of Ishtoration. And if you don't want a craft and gatherer, then you've got to either go do old content, or you've got to kind of like find your own fun.
And it's definitely not rewarding for people who are into crafting and gathering before this.
Right.
Like, there's really nothing new
some
for us.
Some people really dig Ishtoration restoration, but I don't know if they I feel like they maxed everything out. They're like, cool, peace out, I'm done with that too. So G pose has become, a lot of people's like energy goes into that, and Yoshi P we had this whole outline, and I'm just talking. Yoshi P has always said, it's okay, play other games, and I feel like this has been the first expansion that I've legitimately been like, aye, Yoshi P. I'm fully going to take you up on that.
And even though I don't really step away and play other games too much, I played Final Fantasy VII, but that was about it. I've always said, like, that's a dangerous game for Yoshi P to play, to tell people to go play something else and come back eventually. Especially since they started getting rid of, like, veteran rewards. Like,
I miss those. I really do. I loved, because I never, I didn't pay in advance for the even though it was cheaper, you could buy a few months in advance. I always did the monthly because it was something like, I don't know, I felt like I earned it. And I was like, yeah, I got that. Yeah, no, I'm here. And it's like, we don't have anything in the game that shows like how long you've been playing really anymore because of the loss of that.
We got that Falcon mount as part of like whatever they were going to do after the veteran rewards ended.
Yeah.
And they really haven't added on to that.
Not at all, no. And I don't know, I really, that was like what's the participation reward award, that's all it was, but it was nice.
That was like if you sub during a certain time period, which was really
weird. And Sword of Storms, thank you. Yeah, they were like, oh, here, we're going to give you achievement points instead, and then you're going to be able to buy things with these achievement points. Yeah. But when was the last time we actually got something that we could buy with those? I actually just checked that. I was like, I have so many points. I bet there's going to be something I can buy. And I was just like, Nope, I have a lot.
Sword of Storms also said they've completed 2 anima weapons in this gap. So yeah, if you want some of the relic weapons for glamour, I guess that's something you could do during this time.
But again, I view that as like you're making your own fun with that.
And
which is okay.
To a certain extent, I have to give them credit for like creating a world for us to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. Like a world for us to be able to just hang out with our friends.
Well, but that's because any good MMO is like a theme park. A theme park that has multiple rides, multiple things you can do. You don't have to necessarily like all the rides. You can choose to ride which ones you want when. I feel like that's the best way to view any MMO. But you can burn yourself out on going to the same theme park all the time.
Yeah.
And you want to check out another theme park.
Especially if like all the new rides that they've been adding hasn't really been your cup of tea.
Like me.
Can get burned out even quicker.
I guess I'm really bummed because I really did love like the story and the aesthetic and everything of Shadowbringers, and I like wanted to love so much about it because that part was so amazing.
Yeah, the 5.0 story in general was
the best,
in my opinion, the best they've ever done storytelling wise.
Everyone's opinion. You don't even have to add that. In everyone's opinion.
Yeah, I'm sure someone likes the other one.
But like I wasn't a fan of Blue Mage. I'm not a fan of Crafting and Gathering. I feel like the game is leaving me behind, I guess, is the best way I can explain it. Like I feel like they're not making it for me anymore. Not that they're making it for me, but
I feel like it's not really evolving.
Really? I think it's evolving. I think it's evolving in a different direction than it was, which is fine. And I get evolving in a different direction. But like it's kind of one of those things where I don't know. I know we record a podcast for this and this is what we do, but I feel like with the next expansion, it's really going to impact me if it is this still a game I want to play. Because Shadowbringers has kind of felt like they're really going... and I didn't even get a healer. Thanks for reminding me, Kaylee. I didn't even get a fucking healer. You know, they just made me bitter from the get-go, and so yeah.
But even despite that bitterness, you love Shadowbringers in general, like that 5.0 story. It was just everything that came after that.
The problem is that that's such a small piece of it. If it just like that small piece was done so well that I'm still like, I'm not like,
oh, you're still enjoying like the MSQ parts of it. It's just like, okay, the MSQ takes me 1, maybe 2 days if I don't have a full day to play,
right?
And then I'm done with it. And it's like, yeah, they need to give us something else. Like I think I'm really missing a deep dungeon, and deep dungeon usually came in a
I actually did enjoy the deep dungeons.
Yeah, it usually came in a 0.3 or a 0.35. So that's something that we would be looking forward to right now, but they've already told us we're not going to get one.
Right. And we're getting a beast tribe that isn't even for the battle classes. It's more crafting. And I'm like, well, that's not me.
And my reasoning for wanting the crafting and gathering to be combined is they're so easy to level.
There was no reason to separate them. One beast tribe could have been both.
Well, yeah.
The Namazu beast tribe was great.
But my thing is crafting and gathering is so easy to level compared to the battle jobs that I would much rather have 2 beast tribes that I can do for my battle classes opposed
100%.
to
100%
crafting and gathering.
Now you get the trusts, which are a bitch and a half to level so that you can level your character to the level.
No.
Exactly. That's my point. Like all the love went toward like we get trusts, but they fucking suck.
I'll qualify that by saying I love the trust as an option for the first time through a dungeon.
Yes.
After that, the fact that you have to level them,
nope.
No,
don't
thank
care.
You.
I'm good. Peace out. Bye, bitches. Yeah.
Like why?
Right.
I'm sure there's some reward at the end that you get if you level them all the way.
It's probably an achievement. You get a title
and
or something.
I'd probably be like, that's kind of cool. But it's like, yeah, that's not worth it.
Yeah, the trust, it's just and I was only referring to the leveling. I love the idea of the trust. I love the trust. I used the trust when I was going through the MSQ because it was really cool to be able to take your own time and kind of slowly go through a dungeon and really experience it that way. I thought that was great because, as we all know, Final Fantasy XIV is, a single player game that happens to be an MMO.
People are saying it's just a title you get.
It's a title. That's what I said. That's what I figured.
I've never done anything for just a title.
Yeah, I don't.
The closest thing is I still want to get to 2000 to become a Mahjong master. But other than that, I'm fine with my ass immolator title.
And Sios is like, even running a dungeon with a bad pug will go faster. I feel like using the trusted isn't about going fast. It's about having the ability to control the pace. And people are saying I tried to level them. It was too much. And yeah. So the title, Triss is, I think it's Trusted Friend, which is a cute one. And the drops, yeah. When you go with the trust, all the drops are yours. Because I considered it, and if I didn't have to level the trusts, and if they weren't so hard to level, I actually would farm dungeons for the drops with the trusts. But knowing that if I want to farm that dungeon for those drops, I first have to put in hours and hours and hours to level my trust to do it. Well, within that time, I could just run with pugs and spend the same amount of time, but have the likelihood of those drops
or
coming
you're just
sooner.
like, I'll wait until next expansion and unsync it.
Or that, yeah. Like, it's just, I don't know.
Esper says, I think my issue with the way they are bringing things out, they seem to think it's an important,
Part
A is important. Here's the extra after, and a lot of players are not really interested in the second part of stuff right now, which I agree. Like, the part A is definitely the story.
Yeah.
The part B is the kind of add-ons, and they haven't really been hitting.
Well, the add-on, I guess the only add-on that is battle class related were the relics.
Yeah, and I think people...
That's it that I can think of right now.
When we went through the relic, we agreed that, hell yeah, like, that relic, the story part was awesome. Yeah. It was a little short.
Yeah.
But, I will take a short, really entertaining, engaging story over some bullshit of making me farm shit over and over and over again. Like, yeah, it gives a little less the replay value to it, but I don't want to replay anything that's super boring and just making me farm shit. Like,
well, I mean, that's kind of what the relic always is it's the farming and the effort.
I absolutely love this first part of the relic.
I do too, but I think that the first part of the relic kind of lines up with what happened with Shadowbringers, which is where the story was amazing and the relic is what you do for your battle class. And so right now it's like, yay, this is awesome and it's done. Now what do I do? And I love that the game is trying new things and they're trying to implement new things, but I feel like too much of that was given to crafters and gatherers. And if the dwarves was coming out and it was not a crafting beast tribe, I would be all about it. But because it's a crafting beast tribe, I don't care. I genuinely don't like crafting, so I don't care. And that like sucks.
And just like Restoration of Ishtoration, if you already had a maxed out crafter and gatherer, like, you are only doing this for story. You're not gaining anything.
Mine aren't even max level. Mine aren't. I could do it to level them, but I don't care.
But for the ones that are already maxed, other than getting the tokens to turn in for the mount and the 2 minions, like, you're not really doing it because it's fun.
You're doing it because you like to collect things.
Yes, and I am a collector in game. I've cut out all collecting in my real life.
But, no, I'm so happy about it. Sorry, I'm not a collector.
But in game, I still like to collect. So I know you don't like to collect. I enjoy it.
No, that's okay.
But I like enjoying.
Most people, I think, who play MMOs like to collect. I know I'm the rarity.
Looking up my percentage of like the amount of mounts and minions I have, and someone's beating me, I'm like, you motherfucker! I'm gonna beat you.
I just like to have what I like.
We were on Beast Tribe on this, and we went for like 20 minutes.
That's why I apologize for totally shifting the. I don't know. I'm so disappointed that I don't want to log in. Like, I want to log in.
Scott Matrix, don't get me wrong. Like, I actually enjoyed the story. I enjoy the story of basically all the beast tribes. It's just that, like, I'm okay doing it just for the story. Some people are not. And I don't have any reason to do it other than the story because it's not leveling anything for me.
I just saw chat. I think that's KK behind me trying to scare me with his freaking shark mount. Yeah, it is. I love that all I see is your little top hat. Looks like you have a top hat on your shark.
And I just think that more people would get use out of it if it was a battle class.
I would be excited. I loved the Pixie Beast Tribe. Like, I honestly forgot about the Ratkin Beast Tribe because I'm not going to do it. I
forgot that they were named the Katari.
That's
like the Katari Ravel.
I forgot about that Beast Tribe because I didn't do the.
I thought they were super cute too.
I didn't even do the Namazu Beast Tribe until I was looking for something to do. Because I don't like crafting and gathering. Like, I don't mind going out and killing things and gathering things and fetch quests. I don't mind that. There's something about it that I don't want to do.
And people that have all their jobs leveled too, like, I have to assume you're just doing it to log in with friends.
Well, a lot of people stand there, they just log in and stand there or G-pose.
Yeah, like you're doing that with friends, I'm assuming.
I find that very difficult. I'm very task-oriented. And so, like, I don't like to just log in and, like...
We've got enough projects in real life that it seems like if you're not actually doing anything in-game, you're wasting time.
That's how I approached it, and that's just my personality. Was like, okay, guys, I'm waiting, but like, I get that we're socializing. Let's do something while we socialize. I need to, or else I get like anxious.
Yeah, you say 5-minute break, you're at risk of losing Avi.
It's not a lie. I'm like Virgo to the core. Like Virgo. Like, what are we doing? First, second, and third. Let's go. Yeah, I need these.
She's like, 5-minute break. What are you doing with your life?
We're at like 4 minutes and 59 seconds. Everyone isn't back. I'm logging off. But yeah.
Let's move on from the Beast Tribe. The last thing we got in the part 1 of the 5.3 preview was the Sorrow of Wurlet, which is part of the Chronicles of New Era's quest. They said it's going to be story focused, includes an instance encounter, but no trial. So this is a single player instance encounter.
Which means you'll finish this in like an hour and a half, maybe?
It is the Sapphire weapon. Mm-hmm. And I'm okay with this because if they give the same thought and care that they did to the Relic weapon, they can make a single player instance really good and engaging.
That's true. It would be cool if they were more replayable. I guess they're working on that.
I wish like New Game Plus would be available as soon as you did it.
Yeah.
We are also getting a new trial, so that's another reason why I don't care that the Sorrow Wurlet isn't the trial.
Right, we're not getting it for that, but we're getting another one, so it makes sense.
So we're getting one that is going to be part of the main story, and we will have a normal and an extreme. I don't mind this being part of the main story.
I have no idea. You have like notes on any guess on who it is? I need a recap on where we left off in the story.
This is one that they specifically said we're not giving you any information on since it's part of the main story. Yeah, they didn't want to spoil anything, which is why I don't think we're going to get anything from that in the part 2 preview. And as we're going through this, I want to know at the end what everyone thinks we are going to get in the part 2 preview, because after like reviewing these notes, it's like, what else
is there
left to give us?
So Esper actually said something that maybe another thing that is slightly bothering them. They cut another dungeon, and now people are getting tired of prior dungeons happening so often. How pissed off are you, like, queuing for Expert Roulette, and you're like, it's the same dungeon every time?
It's annoying, and like I've always been of the opinion that I'm like, fine, I am perfectly fine giving up a dungeon if you give me something else in return that can
but man, that Expert Roulette is something you run every day, and you're running the same dungeon every day,
which is like, but like I'm not feeling like I'm getting what I want in return for giving up another dungeon, because we've already given up 3 to 2 and then 2 to 1 and like,
and now it literally feels like you're just queuing for the same dungeon.
It was 3 and then you had 2 every patch.
Yep.
And then you had 2-1-2.
Yep.
And now it's 1-1-1.
It's pretty bad. And now, like, so what is the dungeon that you always get? I never play it.
I still get the Grand Cosmos every time.
That's the one. Grand Cosmos. I know we're supposed to get the other one, but I don't think I've ever gotten it in Expert Roulette. And I'm not queuing. I'm not playing very often. And you're the one queuing, and I randomly log in, and I still get that one with you. And like, even everyone in chat's like, here we go again. But people still mess up the fire, and that's what's kind of funny. Is that when the final boss, that fire still gets messed up.
Just burning everything.
Like, no, people, no, that's not how this works. Yeah, now we only get 1 job quest per 10 levels. Like, because I went back and leveled my warrior. I'm still finishing that up. I was like, oh, I have to go do my job quest. No, I don't.
I guess it's even less, though, isn't it? Not even per job. It's per class.
Yeah.
Because you have the tanks, you have the range DPS and melee DPS, or is they combine just DPS? I think they're separated.
They're separated.
And then you have the healers. So it's not even per job. Like,
yep.
I did mine on Gunbreaker when I went through the first time, so I'm not going to have one when I get my warrior to level 80, right?
Not the role quests. Role quests are different.
But there's no job quest in Shadowbringers, right?
Were there no?
We just had the.
It's been so long. I haven't been playing. Why are you asking me? I like literally only log into the game for this podcast at this point.
We just had the role quest.
One job quest at 80. That's what I thought. No, because your
job quest at 80.
Your job has the story still that continues with it.
That's right.
I wanted to say that, but I didn't want to say it and be wrong, so I was just saying nothing.
Yeah, I forgot about that. But I'm like, there's nothing in between 70 and 80.
No,
really.
And then when you get to 80, that means you're doing this job quest, and it's just for story because of the fact that you don't get it until 80 means there's no experience from it. And so I feel like if they could at least make that at 79, it would be like, because if it's 80, you forget to do it because you don't even get experience from it. It's just like finishing the story.
Did it give the last ability?
It's not. I don't know if I don't even think they do. I don't think they locked abilities behind it. I'd have to look into it. But no, yeah, there's no ability from it. It's just story. But if you at least made it like level 79, I feel like you would at least get like some experience from it. So you get something from it. And because that was a nice, having those class quests was kind of like a nice break from running around and trying to level your character by fighting things. You're like, I forgot, I gotta go do all these job quests. I got like 3 of them to do. Sweet, that's gonna be some good experience and some fun story to do. And then now you don't even have that.
To be honest, the best job quests I ever had were Warrior, and I still ended up skipping some of the story.
The story is so great for Warrior, you dummy.
All I want is Fordola quests.
I know, you're just a little slut.
I want a new quest line where Fordola tries to take over the world. And we're going to help her.
It's never going to happen.
That's what I want.
You can write your own fan fiction right there.
I am.
That's Vegan Pete's fan fiction with Fordola.
All on Fordola.
So the one thing I am actually looking forward to with the patch is a new Alliance raid. That is one thing I personally always enjoy with the patches or the next iterations of the Alliance raid, because that's that kind of nice in the middle difficulty stuff that you get to do with other people. And so this is going to be the second part of the Yorha Dark Apocalypse raid, and it's going to be called the Puppets Bunker. I totally read Puppies Bunker for a minute, and I was like, the Puppies Bunker? But it looks like a crash site.
Those damn puppies. Hiding in that bunker after they committed genocide.
Puppies, it's gonna be amazing. So I'm excited for that. I hope they do as good of a job. I'm really curious to see, like,
I do like that it's a little bit of fresh blood.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not the same aesthetic, really. We got something a little different.
The fights feel different. Well, even like the gear you get from them feels different. Like the gear that we got from the first patch or the first raid was amazing. The first Yorha raid, I loved it. What's it called? God damn, I haven't played the game in so long.
What, the Nier raid?
Yeah.
Oh, the first one?
Yeah.
Copied Factory.
Thank you. I'm like, my head is going, it's a C word. It's a C word. It's not a bad word. It's the C word. Oh, you guys. Oh my God. Everyone wants to order Pete a hug pillow.
Hell yeah.
With a super scowl.
I love it.
Oh no.
Need to get one of those Amazon wish list things.
You'd have to like order that custom. Like Redbubble, and like make your own store, and then like upload your own art, and then order from your own store to them to print it. Like it'd be like this whole like cyclical thing to make happen. I know how to make it happen, I guess. So there you go.
Christmas is coming up.
All right, Pete. So what's next?
Resistance weapons. We'll get the first step in upgrading our new relic weapons. They say there will be a Eureka style 100 player zone for it, but that you won't have to do it to complete the relic.
As we're getting options. So we are getting more Eureka, but not Eureka.
There will be a way outside of the zone to do your relic, but they didn't say what.
How would you say Eureka backwards?
Akarui. Akarui.
Akiru is what I was going to go with. Akiru.
What is your point?
That we're going to be going to Akiru instead of Eureka. Because it's basically Eureka, but it's not called Eureka, so we're going to call it Akiru.
Wish I had a that was shit button.
Well, we have a bunch of shit emotes.
Sloppy.
You're just mean.
Closest one I had.
You're just mean.
Don't know what that was about.
My point was basically it's Eureka by another name.
Oh, so this is they will have more details.
I didn't think about this
in
a lot.
the
I
next-
literally thought about it in the moment.
in the next live letter. So that's what we're getting in the next live letter. More on the resistance weapons.
See, this is why we're going through these notes to figure out what we missed.
There will be a new large-scale instance, the Bosjan Southern Front. And if this is similar to Baldessian Arsenal, I'm interested. If you can give me Baldessian Arsenal without it making me have to go through the totally boring part leading up to it,
No, you know what I
I'd
picture?
be all about it.
I see this Akira being. This is just going to be like the open zone. It's an instant zone where you go and you like basically farm Atma in this zone to help level up your relic. And so by Atma, I mean like hunt train. So it's going to be an instance, instead of it being open world where you go and you work on your relic weapon, the only place you can, you would go to that particular zone for it. But they're also going to give you another way that you can do this as well. So you don't have to go in there. There's going to be another option, which they're going to announce. But regardless, people are going to do whichever one's the path of least resistance. So whichever way is the fastest to do it is going to be the best way to do it, because that's the way everyone else is going to be doing it.
That may be the best way to do it, but if I feel that I have more fun just casually doing it single player, not having to do the Eureka
That's because
style.
you do Savage and you have like these high-end level weapons, but for people who like this is their top tier weapon they're going to get, won't necessarily want to do the slower route. I mean, it's going to be personal.
But what the fuck are they using that weapon for?
I'm going to say
expert roulette.
It's going to be personal choice, but the majority of the players always go for the path of least resistance.
Oh yeah, and
that was my point.
Even the Savage Raiders are going to do that shit if it's the best weapon at the time.
Yep.
But my thing is like, I don't really give a shit because I'm going to do whatever makes me happy. So if I'm happier not grinding that shit.
Do you mean happy or do you mean like less annoyed?
What's the difference?
No.
Less annoying. Like, I can't stand doing brain dead shit over and over and over again.
Why do you play MMOs?
I'm a masochist.
It's a large part of them. Gather the same things over and over again.
Like hanging out with friends.
So Chili says, fun fact, took a lot to not spoil it, the No Heaven on High / Palace of the Dead, this expansion, but he found out about it with an interview that was never published during press event for Shadowbringers. So you knew like way back the beginning that we weren't going to be getting one, Chili. I see how it is. So instead of like,
should have put him on blast.
you didn't want to disappoint people, but basically you let people get their hopes up and you just didn't want to squash them. You let Square Enix squash them instead of like squashing it at the beginning. See how it is.
A lot of squashing
See
going
you.
on.
See you. False hope.
All right. They also said, Lava, your favorite part.
There's a big fucking paragraph for this too.
Crafting and gathering.
Big. There's like 4 bullet points, you guys.
Trial synthesis. This is good. This is a good quality of life adjustment.
I'm gonna go get another beer.
Try out a recipe without the items. Basically, so you can work on a rotation or just play around and figure out what your abilities do. So that differs from what we have now. What we have now is the ability to buy a like pattern basically for something minimal like 300 gil or something like that. And then you could try to make that high-end item from that pattern that you just bought. Now it seems like you won't have to buy anything and you're just going to be able to try out seemingly any recipe. So you can work on your crafting. I think this is really good. And I think people can be intimidated by crafting just because of the amount of abilities you have during crafting.
No, it's just boring.
It really isn't, though. And I
mean,
don't know. It's one of those things that you're never going to be able to convince anyone that doesn't enjoy crafting to enjoy crafting.
I don't enjoy having my I don't want to sit my character in one place and hit buttons.
One of those things where it's like, okay, you don't have fun doing that. I have fun doing that.
Right. It doesn't make it wrong, but it's like, it's not, I'm not intimidated by the number of buttons.
Dude, I saw you look at those buttons and you looked pretty fucking intimidated.
And then as you said,
I started
to understand how to do it and I learned how to play it. And then I decided, and I just stopped. It's like, that's how like so many people who start playing Final Fantasy go like, what the fuck is up with all these hotkeys? Like, why are there so many buttons? Like, that's this game.
So funny that like people who come from ESL being like, damn, there's a ton of buttons. And then Final Fantasy 14 players going to ESO, they're like, where are all the fucking buttons?
Well, then they go, wait, I gotta dodge, I gotta block, it's just a different mentality.
Hey guys, says happy birthday, Pete. Not my birthday.
You got a body pillow for Pete in Discord.
I'll check it out later.
Oh no, he made it.
So we're gonna get a trial synthesis so you can try out recipes. You're also gonna be getting recipes from inventory, which I think if I remember correctly, when we talked about this the first time, it wasn't what I thought. I thought we were going to be able to like click on one item.
Don't look at me like I remember about the things you talked about for crafting.
I thought there was going to be a button that you could press and it would be like, okay, this is what you have in your inventory and this is what you can make.
Oh yeah,
I think what people ended up saying
what it is you search the recipe and it says yes or no, you have those ingredients.
Yeah, I'm like,
which is logically how that would work.
Too much fucking work for
And
me.
my argument for it before was, do you understand the size of the database they would have to create to have the search work the way you want it to work?
I like my database is big and I cannot lie.
Yeah, you like it as a freaking dev's nightmare.
Also going to be custom deliveries, so we're getting a new custom delivery in 5.3. I like those. And this is my problem with how easy they made leveling, crafting, and gathering through Restoration of Ishgard. It's like, it was already, oh, fucking cat put his leg on my fucking keyboard and made all my shit fucked up.
He gets all the love.
What was I saying?
I don't know. You were talking about crafting.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like toned you out.
The Beast Tribe, custom deliveries, sorry. Leveling your crafters through custom deliveries is so fucking easy that they did not need to make it so easy through...
They didn't need to make it easier.
They didn't need to make it easier through Restoration of Ishgard, and they did not need to split up the Beast Tribes into a separate crafting and gathering Beast Tribe. It's so freaking easy to level your crafters and gatherers now through custom deliveries.
Well, through custom deliveries, through the Restoration of Ishgard, like, honestly, if you want to level your crafters and gatherers, like, you could put, like, a solid week's worth of effort in and have them all leveled up. Like, it's not, it's not bad. It's just, you know, if you hate it, it's not the best.
And we're also going to be headed into the third phase of Ishtoration of Restoration of Ishgard.
Ishtoration of Restgard? Ishtoration of Restgard.
You know how I do. Sky Builder rankings will reopen.
I need a pen. I need to write that down.
New items will count toward your Skyward score. Top ranked players will receive special achievements and titles. And an update to the Sky Steel tools. You'll be able to enhance them. That's the only thing I really care about. I
wrote that down.
I'm interested in what is the relic equivalent of weapons for crafters and gatherers. I do those.
I predict that you're going to be very disappointed with it.
I mean, I don't think I'm going to be disappointed. I'm not going to be knocked off my titties, but
You have titties?
everyone's got titties.
Okay. These are your quarantine titties?
You son of a bitch. Why you putting my titties on blast?
Sorry.
You're more tickled than that I thought you would be. It ain't that bad.
Oh, I love this. Like, so the next note is it says Sky Steel Tools update, and the bullet is you'll be enhancing them.
Just did that.
But that's like, I love that that's your entire bullet. You'll be enhancing them. All right.
Maybe that's what they'll elaborate on.
So one of the things we've been teased about for a while is the A Realm Reborn revamp, and it's finally going to be here, because this was in the like first half of the 5.3 live letter in April. So now it's finally almost about to be here, where MSQ is going to be streamlined with patches 2.0 through 2.5. Additional experience points and gear have been added, so you're going to level even faster. And the Crystal Tower quest series, as well as the My Little Chocobo, must be completed in order to progress through MSQ. And then also they're going to make flying mounts allowed in A Realm Reborn. And I disagreed with this. I liked having some zones that we couldn't fly in, but some people were happy to have them able to fly. There's some quests you're going to have to complete in order to do all that, but I don't know.
Well, if it makes a difference, you still can't swim.
And that's because that's a whole other like zone they have to create. I don't know. I liked...
Jilly says, screw the 2.0 changes. I want my right not to unlock flying.
You're going to be forced to in these areas because you've already done the quest, Chili.
He wants his right not to wear a mask.
We don't like having to hold your hand through everything. We're like, come on, little LFL, get in my 4-seater mount now. We need to fly you to the hunt mob. Hee hee hee. Are they going to make us get Aether Currents? No, they are not. It is just going to be, you just have to complete the quest, the ultimate weapon, and there won't be any Aether Currents. You just have to do that quest, and then you learn how to fly. So you're good, at least in those zones. But yeah.
You like in the Matrix. They just loaded into Neo. You know how to fly.
Kinda, yeah. Like, yeah, you've already been there, done that, fly now. I mean, your Chocobo has wings. It can fly everywhere else. There is no logical reason that it can't fly in this particular zone, but...
So apparently this is what we're giving up our extra dungeons for. Going to be a couple brand new pieces of content coming in patch 5.3 that are tied together. The Unreal Trials. The first part of Unreal's Trials, which is a new difficulty of trials. They should be harder than the extreme versions. We will be revisiting old trials and fighting them after they have been synced up to level 80, and we'll have some new tricks up their sleeves. We'll be facing off against Shiva as the first Unreal trial. So Shiva synced up to level 80, and maybe a couple of surprises for us while we fight that bitch.
So really, if you're not a crafter and gatherer and you're not into the hard endgame content, you get MSQ. There's going to be a new dungeon, just one. I don't want to craft, so I don't care about the Beast tribes. We get the Sorrow of Wurlit, but that's probably going to be over very quickly. The trial's cool, and the Alliance raid is really cool. And then most of the time we're going to be spending basically, once you finish all of these like short-term things, is they expect us to spend a lot of time doing the resistance weapon, is kind of how I see this. So that's how this is going to end up. Once you've done all the 5.3 stuff, they kind of either expect you to do like super hard content.
Trials hard level content. Really.
This is harder than extreme.
That's what they say.
But that's what I'm saying.
We'll see if it actually turns out that way or not.
Regardless, Pete, there are people who don't want to do extreme trials, and now they're making trials that are harder than extreme.
I feel like this is going to be if you were to do Shiva unsynced.
What?
Or like not using the unsync option, like trying to do it as it was released at minimum eye level.
I feel like you sound a bit elitist right now. Throw that out there. But
I'm elitist.
My point is that like that the content most people are going to do seems like it's going to be story stuff that's done really quickly, or you're going to be doing the 24-man raid alliance, which you'll do regularly, and then unless you want to do that, which is going to take you longer,
which I think is good, because I think
I'm just coming at this very negatively because I feel very left behind.
You feel very attacked?
No, I feel forgotten. And so like I'm looking at all these notes that we've gone over.
I don't think you can really feel forgotten because you used to like the extreme trials content.
Well, no, but that's why I said trials is part of that for like the things I would do. But I don't know that I care about doing Unreal trials.
It will probably depend on whatever reward for you personally that you get from it. I'm going to do it just because it's something new and I want to see what the difference is. I don't expect this to really be too much harder than any extreme version of anything.
My response was more like the Gen Pop kind of thing, was that it seems like what they're expecting the general player base to do once they've completed the like time-based things is to spend time on the relic. That's all I was trying to say. Is that is how you're going to be spending your time once you've done all of the things that one and done part of 5.3. It's going to be very relic based.
And then I guess something that's kind of unique to these Unreal trials is we're going to get one trial per patch, and then we will only have them for a limited amount of time. Completing Unreal trials will give you the chance to play the Bow Hollow minigame once per week. We don't really... That might be another thing we get in patch or in the live letter part 2 preview for this.
I hope so.
Faux hollow minigame once per week.
I haven't been too excited about most of the minigame. I'm so bitter. I can't. I feel like I shouldn't. You guys shouldn't even be listening to me because I'm so bitter about so many things with this. I want to not be bitter. I really hope that 5.3 adds some sugar to my Final Fantasy world.
Sugar on me. And no word on what that entails or the types of rewards you can get on it. So that's something I'll probably be expecting going into the next live letter. Some more information on the Unreal Trials and Faux Hollows.
I know Esper's telling me I have too much salt. That's the problem, is I have too much salt. I fully acknowledge that but once you have too much salt to a dish, you usually either have to throw it away and start over. It's very hard to fix a dish once there's too much salt in it.
Are you rolling?
No, that's why I'm hoping that this next patch will help me not feel so salty, so bitter.
Put a little acid in there.
Right, because that's why I said instead of salt, it's bitter. Bitterness you can, counteract with sugar or with acid. So
fat, acid, salt. What's the other one? Or is that just the name of it?
That's the name of a book.
Just those 3?
No, there's another one.
Fat, acid, salt, paint.
That's totally it.
Nailed it.
But yeah, I guess I apologize because I realize I'm coming across as bitter. But again, from recording this podcast for as long as we have been, I also acknowledge that I'm not the only one feeling this way. So, Paul just says, I like me some rage. So I really need Square Enix to win me back right now. And I'm really hoping that they do with 5.3.
What could they add to win you back?
I need... That's not funny. You do it all the time thinking it's funny.
Funny for me.
I feel like all the attention is going to like my cousin crafter gatherer, and I feel like little old healer, battle player over here is like wanting some attention, wanting some stuff to do.
You will love your one dungeon and be happy with it.
Right. And so that's kind of how I feel right now. So
Avi, something that almost broke my raid group up last raid. Are you pro or anti curly fry?
Well, I was pro until I found I couldn't eat garlic. So since I can't eat garlic, I can't have curly fries, but I love me some curly fries with ranch.
Apparently the UK does not like curly fries.
It means you guys haven't had the right curly fries.
That's what I said. You're probably getting some basic bitch regular fry that hasn't been seasoned.
Curly fries are seasoned as fuck, and they're fried until they're crispy. You getting some shit that's like bland and not fried well. Yeah.
And Avi is the tiebreaker. Curly fries wins.
I mean, when I was in high school, my jam was going Jack in the Box, getting curly fries and ranch, and like going to the movie theater. Like, that was amazing.
All right, a couple of quality of life adjustments to round out what we got last time in patch 5.3 part 1. A party of players will be able to join another party via the party finder. Thanks, Square Enix, for this shit.
That was a lot of P's.
Oh my god.
Party of players will be able to join another party via the party finder.
You know what that means?
That you won't have to join individually and break up your party. You'll be able to join together.
So good. My god.
Paul says we out now. I still love you, Paul. Don't hate me. Don't hate me. Next time we hang out, next fan fest, if you guys make it to the US, I will show up with some good Jack in the Box curly fries for you, and I'll be like, try these.
The option to require one player per job will be added to the party finder. Thank God as well, because I'm usually setting up the party finder. I'm like, okay, what jobs do we have today? Need to exclude that one, exclude that one, exclude that one.
I just want to add monk.
Let me hit a box saying no dupes.
These are very logical additions, these are the kind of like quality of life adjustments that you want to see happen. They're the kind that you'll forget that they did because they so logically fit into the game.
Yes. Another one will
be like when I was trying to teleport and I was like, man, I wish I could see this map, and I right clicked and it showed me the map. Like, I don't know when that was added.
Already
probably
in the game.
Really long time ago, but I remember trying it before and it didn't work. So there was a period where I missed where it was added.
Players will be able to use the world visit system while in a cross-world party.
Nice.
Which is
that was so annoying because usually you're in the cross-world party so that you can like talk to that person. And you're like, hey, I'm going to come visit you. And then there's that awkward like, well, let me break party so that I can come see you so that we can then join party again so that we can. Yeah, that was dumb.
And then new chapters and New Game Plus. I think it's like I said earlier. As soon as we have a patch, that should be available in New Game Plus.
Yeah, that would be really nice. But we don't know all the logistics that go into it, so.
New token exchange vendors to be added to major cities. I'm not exactly sure what that was for. I don't remember.
There's going to be more tokens to use.
And my God, best patch note of the live letter.
Oh my God, this is the thing you have all been waiting for desperately.
There's a motherfucking new menu for parasols. Hell yeah.
So yeah, you won't have to just open whatever menu it was that we had to do that before. The skills menu, I think. I don't know. I haven't used the parasol since I got it. Like, oh, there's one rainy day that I was like, oh hey, I have a parasol. So yes, you guys, custom menu for them parasols. My
God, we finally got what everyone's been asking for.
I just want me some goddamn rainbow parasol. I want one with little cherries on it, and I want one with like the cat is messing with this shit.
Avi. We are way late.
We are so late.
That was the fucking news, man.
So like, we're not going to talk about anything else past this. We're just going to skip this, and I'm just telling you right now. All right. So we are back to revisiting lore from Pete's past. And I feel like this is just like the Rathok episode. Because this particular question was given to us by Rathok in episode 181. I love that chat always goes, Asians. All right, Pete. In Lower Lanosia, I have to make sure he's actually paying attention to me because I'll probably have to repeat this question. Are you listening? Yeah. What'd I just say?
Lower Lanosia.
At the Morabee dry docks.
Okay.
What will be the most powerful ship in the Maelstrom's armada is currently under construction? So the ship in Morabee dry docks is under construction.
I understand the basis of the question. I don't know what the fucking ship name is.
Just making sure. That's why it's multiple choice. What is the name of this vessel? A, Defiant, like you. Or B, Enterprise, like Picard.
Not Enterprise.
C, Victory, like your mom. I don't know. Or D, Salvation, like the whole world is hoping for.
D, Salvation.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
You think that the most powerful badass ship is going to be Salvation?
Yes.
You're wrong.
Fuck.
It's the Victory.
Fuck. What a basic bitch name. Victory. Fuck Merriweb. Did you okay that shit? Did anyone run that by Merriweb? What a stupid fucking name.
Tris knew it.
Victory. You didn't have...
Chili says, you're right, Chili. It should have been Bodie McBoatface. Sorry, Pete.
Stupid name.
So, Pete, what is the name?
I thought Victory was like the dumb answer.
It is kind of the basic bitch answer, but yeah, you're getting a little mad. Yeah, as Okop says, spit and fire over a common maritime vessel name. Victory is actually very, very common.
Dude, if you're gonna spit fire, it might as well be over maritime vessels.
Really?
Well, my mama always taught me.
I don't think she did, though. I really don't. Esper says it should have been the SS ship pile.
Hell yeah.
I did give this to him before, Tris. We are actually repeating previous lore questions that Pete got wrong to see if he can get them right now. And he's
I'll probably get it wrong again.
2 for 5.
Because that's a dumb name.
So, Pete, what is House 4 Tomp's symbol?
Unicorn.
He knows that one now.
I'll pierce the sky.
And in what story did in FFXIV content did Orosite not show up?
Crystal Tower. So
when I repeat the questions, he learns. Okay, let me ask you one that you got right. What's Y'shtola's family name? He needs a multiple choice for this one.
I'll know it if I hear it.
Starts with an R.
Okay.
1 ring 2.
Rule them all.
Rule. It's RHUL, but you know, it helped.
Nailed it.
And then what mythology did the Void Ark 24-man raid take?
Celtic.
So we will teach him. So then what is to be the most powerful ship in Limsa called? already forgot it. You guys.
No, I know what it is. It's fucking Victory, and it's a stupid name.
Okay, good.
Change the name of your ship.
Oh God.
Fucking basic bitch name.
It is.
Fucking George W. name.
Yep. I work for the Navy. I can't. There's like a lot of those. We have a lot of those. All right.
Like we didn't have Victory already. What do we have? Defeat earlier.
So let's move on to the special events, Pete.
Special events.
Scroll down.
Oh yeah, something I did this week.
Scroll down.
Wait, scroll down.
Here you go.
Oh, you want to talk about that, eh?
There you go.
Hey. So, many of you might think like Avi's been playing like ESO so much. She actually hasn't.
Oh, I didn't know it was that. I thought
she hasn't been really playing it that much. But one thing I did notice you doing this week, Avi, was you were doing some PvP in ESO.
I actually thought this was about the special event going on in Final Fantasy. I didn't realize I just...
Yeah, you were being a big old dum-dum, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. I was trying to skip through all this content because their episode was going really long.
I was like, what the fuck? Why does she want to talk about that?
No, I don't want to talk about that.
Too late. I already popped the cherry. You did a special event in ESO this week. And I got the feeling that you were doing it because you enjoyed it, but it turns out that is not why you were doing it. So apparently what you were doing is you got in ESO what I would call the equivalent of a relic mount. You like got the base version of a mount. Mm-hmm. And then apparently they have like 4 times out of the year, 3 or 4 times out of the year, 4 times out of the year.
I think so, yeah.
That
Maybe
you're
3. able
to do this special event to upgrade your mount to do some like weird anamorphic shit.
Yes, this is the Indrik mount for anyone listening who plays ESO. The most confusing like event of all time.
You upgrade your mount apparently to make it do some cool ass shit. Mm-hmm. Enough for you to actually want to do the event.
Yes.
But I guess the uniqueness of this is, I guess there's a couple things. Two. One, you can upgrade your mount, which we don't have in Final Fantasy 14. Mm-hmm. And 2 is we don't have too many like timed events that are like repeatable every year. Because apparently this is something that they do every year.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing like our seasonal events.
But
it's their seasonal events.
But there's a different reward in Final Fantasy 14 every year.
Right.
In years, there's like one that you start with and you can keep on adding on to it.
So last year was the first time that it's the Indrik mount came out that was available, was last year. And then they have, I think, 3 different events where you can get the base mount and then you can morph it in that time period. And then you have to get the base mount again and you have the ability to morph it again. And last year, I didn't play enough. So I was only able to get the base mount. And so then this year, because I already had the base one, I was doing the event which was related to PvP, which I'm not good at PvP. It is better in ESO, but I'm still not good at it. And so I put the effort into making a point to morph the mount during this event.
So will you be able to morph this one into the next step next year, or it's going to be like a whole different one that starts at the beginning next year?
I'll have to get another base.
Oh, okay.
And then you can morph that.
I was misunderstood on that part of it.
So I apologize. But yeah, so the reason Pete recognized it so much, because I actually did the thing where on the last day you could get the tickets. I think it was Tuesday this week. I had to log in and run my PvP events before 7 a.m. our time in order to get those last tickets to morph my mount. And he hadn't seen me do that in a very long time in any game where I was getting up early to make a point to log in. You can't walk away right now, Pete, because I don't have any content to talk about.
I think we can go ahead and move on to the community roundup.
All right.
You can take that. I think you can handle it because I'm about to piss my panties.
Okay. Oh my goodness. So we mentioned last week that we were
community roundup, partner.
Oh my. Everyone's thanking you for the panties image. You're welcome, guys. We have a very classy show here for you. We mentioned last week that we were broadcasting live from outside the birthday bash for Sly, also aka Gray Fox. What we forgot to mention is that his house was decorated by Allure Lounge XIV, and that they have their own house that serves as a party location every Friday. Be sure to follow them on Twitter or on their website to see everything that they have going on. And if you've ever wanted to party in-game, go to one of theirs because they do an awesome job putting them on. Sly, a lot of times when you see him playing Final Fantasy, if you see him hanging out at a party, it is likely their party, and they do a really awesome job. And I think it's really fun that they've kind of like taken this dynamic, especially right now when we are like having to socially distance. And I know we're not in quarantine, but we're kind of headed back that way if we aren't right now. And it's, now's a good time to be a gamer, just spend some time by yourself and socialize online. And it's just another dynamic that is kind of brought to the game. So Allure Lounge XIV, and the link will be in the show notes, of course. And Pete's back after not pissing in his panties.
Oh my god.
Oh, classy.
All right, I'm ready to go another couple hours now.
Okay, we're not going to.
All right, thank you so much for the Allure Lounge, making that party for Sly, and I think everyone should go check them out. I think that was awesome. And I might have to email you guys or tweet you guys for some tips for decorating, because I've got an idea.
Pete wants a party in his large house.
Me and Disco Cub came up with an idea for a bar called the Butts and the Bulge Pub.
But that none of those exist in Final Fantasy XIV.
Which is exactly why we need it.
Oh, I get it. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to decorate your house, though. That's the whole thing. Sorry. Love you. Bye.
So I need help on that. But we're going to move on to listener reaction. We got a couple of pieces. From Twitter, we have William with a bunch of numbers. We'll call him William, the old school gamer. Says, at She Heals, I think Gunbreaker is cool. But he starts out at a high level, so you have to figure out many abilities to start with. I like learning as I go.
Yep.
Just so everything is so I can figure it out. Or what did he say?
So it sucked for him. So he hasn't played it too much, even though he just unlocked it.
Yes, and I've actually commented on that many times that I wish they gave us the option to start every job at level 1 if we want to. It's great.
It would be cool to have that as an option.
Yeah, it's great if you want to start at level 30 or 50, whatever job you're trying to do. But if you want the option, why not just let me start it at level 1? I don't understand what the problem is. And Allure Lounge says, hey, we see ourselves in the background there. Everyone should check out the podcast. So Allure Lounge even helping us out, shouting out the podcast as well.
Oh, thank you guys.
Amazing decorators, and they throw on parties every week.
All right, Pete. Do you have anything else you wanted to add tonight?
Just that I had way more content for you guys, but we got into talking about 5.3.
And I got a little bitter. I'm sorry.
You're gonna have to
but
wait.
I apologize for being bitter. But again, I know.
No reason to apologize.
Well, no, I know I'm not the only one feeling this way. So I hopefully can help other people feel heard.
If anything,
through their bitterness,
from
through my bitterness.
chat, people agreed with your bitterness.
That a lot of attention was given to crafters and gatherers, and the battle classes really feel neglected right now.
DK saying, wasn't there a giveaway?
The giveaway is not going to be done until next week. We still have a giveaway going on. What does that sound? Where you can win a Spriggan mount donated by the wonderful Fen, who also donated that peacock mount earlier. You, second place, will win I don't remember what it's called, but you level up your retainer to level 70.
A retainer's journey.
And the third
finding their man or womanhood.
Place gets the creepy little mosquito Moogle housing item that looks like a fleshlight. So that won't be ending until next week before the podcast, because Pete said, hey, make it for 2 weeks. So it's for 2 weeks. So you guys can still find that link on last week's podcast. I'm sure Pete will link it again on this podcast.
And then due to another
blog post
listener, we actually have some more giveaways lined up too.
Coming up soon. So we'll be doing more giveaways soon because we think they're really fun and a really great way to interact with you guys. So On that note, that is going to be it for this episode. As always, we've enjoyed hanging out with all of you live here on Twitch. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Be sure to hit that follow button so you will know the next time we're going live. And a great big thank you to everyone listening to the podcast through iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, or whatever app you choose to listen to. You really are the reason we keep making episodes. And remember, wherever you do listen, it would mean a shit ton to us if you gave our tiny little shit podcast a rating or a review. Or, more importantly, just tell a friend to check us out. Here with Vegan Pete, I am Avi Ale, and we will talk to you next week. Goodbye.
Wear a fucking mask. Goodbye.
And that.